Hiya, my name is Aminata Kamara and I am a BBC radio presenter and podcaster. I present on BBC Radio Leicester and I also have a podcast with the Sister Collective, which you can catch on BBC Sounds or any other podcast platform. So to tell you a little bit about myself, I am originally from London and I moved over to Leicester about 12 years ago now. I came here to study drama at De Montfort University, but that wasn't necessarily my original plan. I always wanted to study drama, and not study drama, I wanted to become an actress, so I wanted to go to drama school. And I remember applying for a number of different drama schools, but I didn't get in. So university felt like the next best thing. Plus, as a Black African girl, there was no way I wasn't going to uni if there wasn't any other set career path that was going to give me aptitude success. Is that even a word? I don't know. So yeah, I came here and studied. I did 3 years undergraduate BA degree in drama. And during that time, I kind of lost my interest in performing. I don't know whether I didn't feel like my skills were developed enough or I lost my confidence. There were just a number of things that happened that made me steer away from acting. And I became more fascinated and interested in kind of the construction of drama and performance. And I think university does that to you. It kind of expands your thinking and makes you think about the most basic things. It really strips things back to the bare bones, and you really go in depth in some really minute ways. So I became really interested in research. I became really interested in the construct of performance itself. I also began to become really interested in storytelling and people sharing their stories and those stories being used as performances, so verbatim plays. And long story short, I went into that kind of work. So I started writing and directing plays. I started up my own theatre company, and we would stage these plays that would look at social, cultural and political issues within the community. I would interview people, and then I would use those interviews to form the script, and I would get people to act out these real transcripts, these real interviews that I did. And I did that for a little while until just financially wasn't really working. Ended up just closing that chapter of my life down. I went traveling for a little bit. I went to East Africa. Then, long story short, I came back and had a baby. Life took a different turn. I started doing admin work and just little bits and pieces here and there. So to fast forward to today, about a year ago, just over a year ago, BBC Radio Leicester was looking for a new presenter. Now, I had been on Radio Leicester before just as a guest, and I'd feed into different things and, talks, and I would come on as a guest and just, do little bits and pieces here and there. And I always wanted to, I always wanted the limelight. I always wanted to kind of be centre stage. And when the opportunity came for to be a presenter, it was like a no-brainer. I was definitely gonna do it. So I found out, I think about 2 days before the actual auditions took place. And you were meant to pitch a 60-second story about yourself, or, who you are in Leicester. And they were specifically looking for a presenter to present a show to a young Black audience. And I was like, boom, got it in the bag. I can definitely do that. But the interesting thing is that the last time I auditioned was way back when I was applying for drama school. So I was super nervous, super apprehensive. I hate failure. I hate putting myself out there and getting rejected and just hearing no. I hate it. But to me, this was just an opportunity that I couldn't pass up on. And this is one thing I would always say to anyone who is looking at an opportunity that might feel too big for them. It might feel unattainable. It might feel like I could never get this, or, maybe I don't even have the credentials, or, all the requirements that they're looking for. As I said earlier, I have no background in radio. I have no experience in broadcasting whatsoever. To cut a long story short, I went to that audition. I did my 60-minute blind audition, so the judges couldn't even see you, they could just hear your voice. So I did that. And then they called me, I think about a week or so later, and said, "You're through to the next round. We loved your story, your pitch, and we want to have you back for the second stage." So the second stage, you were meant to either do a video, an audio piece, or a 2-page document detailing your ideas. So initially I was going to do a video. I thought, great, I want them to be able to see my face, hear my voice, hear all my ideas. And we only had 2 minutes to a 2-minute video. It just wasn't possible. There were so many different things I wanted to say, and I think because I was just a bit excited, a bit like I am right now, I just knew I wouldn't be able to cram everything into 2 minutes. I tried to do like an audio thing and edit like a video and have words and this thing pop up and that. I tried that didn't work, and I thought, you know what, let me just go back to what I know and I will just do a 2-page document. So I did that. Went into detail about my ideas, spoke about things that I would do if I got the role, listed people that I think would be great conversation topics. I stayed true to myself because I thought, if I'm going to do this, I need to do what I'm good at. And for me, it's about people and stories. So I did that. Bear in mind, there wasn't an application process where you could basically give your CV or they could know about you. So they didn't know about my drama background. They didn't know anything about my interest or what I am, what I'm good at. It was purely based on your ability to present yourself. So second stage was that document, sent that off. Again, a few days later, they got in touch and were like, "You're through to the next round." And there were 4, I think there were about 4 stages or 3. Anyway, the next stage was like the final stage where we had, I think about 6 to 8 hours of radio training. So we learned about transitions. We learned about making sure that those transitions were slick. We were given like a little Bible, like radio Bible. And I think every presenter that works for the BBC is given that Bible. So, we were given that, and we would come for like 2-hour slots each, and we would learn, the fundamental basics of broadcasting and presenting. So how to present, what to say, how to minimize your ums and ahs, how to listen when you're doing an interview, and how to not interrupt the speaker and just pay attention. But then, all the key things that you would have to do as a presenter. This is what we were given in these 6 to 8 hour seminars. So we did that. And then the final stage was to take all of that learning, all of our ideas that we'd pitched, and do a live 20-minute piece on air. Now this was our final bit, and there were 6 of us that got through to this final stage. So it was really awkward because we would be in the same like seminar space. I call it a seminar space. We were really just in a room similar to this where we just kind of sat together and would learn and we would ask questions and, gel with one another. So anyway, we had to put together this 20-minute show. And, they said, maybe break it down into 2 or 3 segments or 2 or 3 pieces. I decided to do a Vox, and it was around the time, I think Love Island was like at its peak, and I was a very big Love Island fan. So I thought, and it was around the time Brexit was also a hot topic as well. So I remember going out and doing Voxes with people. Bear in mind, I had no idea what a Vox was, no idea how to edit. So I just took my phone and I went out and I just asked people, would you rather watch Love Island or a debate on Brexit? And it was really interesting how divided people were. People were laughing, people were like, I don't want to watch either. Some people were like, definitely Love Island, because at least you get, you're getting something for your viewership. Other people were like, I'd rather listen to something that's going to engage my mind. Brexit is so much more important right now than Love Island. So I recorded all of those pieces, and I remember going home, putting that on my laptop, and I've got a Mac, so I used iMovie. So I made it into like a video of all this. I had no idea what I was doing. So I put together this video piece, which I had to then convert into audio. And that was like one of my segments. And I had a couple other bits, and I got a young person to join me as one of my guests. And we played a little game and we had a bit of fun. which is very much what I'm about. I'm about having fun, I'm about telling stories, inspiring people. And I thought, how better to do that than, you know, to get a young person, he's going to be my audience. And I want to make sure that, you know, I'm showing the judges what I can do. So that was my 20-minute pitch. It must be out there somewhere to listen to. So yeah, I did that. And I think it was maybe about another week or so, and I remember just sitting by my phone every single day, like just thinking, oh my god, when is the call going to come through, when's the call going to come through. There were 6 of us, and I remember listening to all the other 5 people, and I knew there was one person I was like, he's defo's my competition, like he sounds slick. And I kind of just got to the point where I was like, do you know what, if I don't get this, I had fun. Like the whole process, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed being creative again. I enjoyed putting myself out there. I enjoyed the actual 20-minute, you know, final piece that I did on there. I loved it. I had such a good time. I was laughing. I was being myself. And I thought, if that's all that happens, at least I enjoyed the process. Anyway, long story short, they called me. I remember I was on the way to work, and they called me, and I remember just pulling over and just screaming. I was like, because I just didn't want to put all my hopes into it. And I remember being so shocked, so overwhelmed. I called my mum straight away, and she was like, my goodness, my daughter, I knew you would win it. So yeah, that's the story of how I became a BBC radio presenter. And it's been a brilliant year. It's been fantastic. It's been learning. I mean, I've literally had to learn on the job. And since, you know, presenting on air, I've also gone on to become a broadcast journalist. So I was going out into the community. And what's really interesting, it's like my life has come in full circle where I'm going back to telling stories. I'm going back to putting people's experiences on a stage, but this stage is different. It's happening on air for thousands of people to listen to. It's not, you know, a drama performance. And for me, it was never really about the drama. It was never about the stage. It was always about the people and giving them a platform to have their voice heard. And it was only until getting this role that I realized that, oh my goodness, I'm doing what I've always wanted to do. And it's on, you know, an amazing platform such as the BBC. So that's a little bit about my journey. I still have that job that I was doing. I'm still doing that. I'm now heading into trying to do more freelance work as a presenter. I've started writing as well, telling my own stories on air. It's not about me. It's very much about, you know, the guests and the audience and giving them a space to have their voice heard. And sometimes there are topics and conversations that we have on air that are so powerful. And I'm like, I want to delve into this more. So for example, you know, one of the shows that really sticks out to me till this day, we interviewed a police officer and a couple of officers who are responsible for training other officers on how to do stop and searches and tasering. And it was around the time where an incident happened in Manchester. Some of you may have seen it, where a black man was tasered and fell to the ground right in front of his son. And I remember speaking to Leicestershire Police and saying, you know, just trying to understand about policing, about stop and searches, about tasering and any other restraints that they use to protect themselves, the public, the individual themselves. And I had so many thoughts after that. And I realized that I really wanted to write. I really wanted to continue to talk about these things. So I've developed my own website, aminatakamara.com, and that's where I blog. I talk about my own journey. I talk about things that I've seen, experienced, or stuff that happens on air. It's also a space for me to document some of my favorite stuff that I've broadcast on air. So yeah, I've kind of become this person that's a bit creative, a bit entrepreneurial, and, you know, very keen to talk and share our experiences. So if you are watching this, I'm gauging that you are looking for a career or wanting to get into broadcasting and journalism, or maybe that's something you're already doing. My piece of advice is to stay true to yourself, continue to follow who you are, what you're about, because that is what's going to drive you. This is an industry that will pull you to and fro. You know, maybe you might want to chase this story, you might want to chase that story, but actually, You know, what is at your core? What are you going to be passionate about? What are you going to get the powerful stories on? And I think you only get to that point when you do something that is so true to you. I listen a lot to a speaker. He goes by the name of Simon Sinek, and he talks about finding your why. And I think when you find your why, your reason for being, your purpose, what you're about, it will begin to shape your life and shape the different opportunities that you go for and the different things that you do. So that'll be my word of encouragement and advice. Please reach out to me, get in touch. I'm always happy to help and support anybody in any way, shape or form. You can find me on social media at Aminata Online on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, wherever. Again, plug into my website as well, or you can email me via the BBC or my personal email address, info@aminatakamara.com. Get in touch and I wish you all the best. Take care and have a wonderful day.